Hi, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Livingood, medical consultant with Yahweh Yoga, and one of their teachers in the RYT 200 and 500 hour teacher training programs. I'm also a yoga instructor and a naturopathic doctor practicing in Phoenix, Arizona. So what do if your labs come back completely normal, but you still feel terrible? You've heard the story, right? You go to the doctor expecting to find out what's wrong with me, why do I feel like this, only to hear, your labs look great, everything's normal, but you know something's not right. So what do you do when your labs come back normal? First, it is actually possible for labs to have errors. So it might be worth asking your doctor if it's worth retesting. If your doctor was looking for something specifically correlated to a symptom and it didn't show up, he or she might be willing to retest for that particular lab marker. Keep in mind, insurance companies probably won't pay for the same lab twice, so ask about cash prices at any of the major labs or even smaller labs. They have great cash prices for retesting. Second, consider the possibility that normal lab results are expected in some cases. For example, fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, neurologic disorders such as depression, anxiety, and sleep apnea and TMJ all would have normal lab markers, so this might be a reasonable result. Lab results might also be normal if the appropriate lab was not run. For example, fatigue and night sweats might be symptoms of something we have here in Phoenix called valley fever, but if the labs were not tested for the antibodies to that organism, then we wouldn't know if you have valley fever or not. Doctors are people too, and we sometimes don't think of more minor or rare conditions to test for. So ask your doctor if you think this is a concern. They can always run another test for these various conditions. Next, remember to ask an integrative or naturopathic doctor about specialty lab testing. There are many other things we can test for outside the scope of conventional testing. One of the most common is the food sensitivity panel. This can detect slow-releasing antibodies and complexes that actually target the foods we eat. When the gut becomes inflamed, food particles leak through and then our immune system attacks them. This can cause many symptoms, so a food sensitivity panel is often a good place to start with specialized lab testing. Other specialized tests include heavy metal testing, environmental toxin testing, which looks for things like pesticides, in-depth panels for your lipids and thyroid, as well as micronutrients, neurotransmitter metabolites, and even candida testing. A naturopathic doctor is a good resource to determine which, if any, of these tests might be appropriate for you. Finally, be persistent and stay encouraged. There are many positive things you can do for your health, even without having a definitive diagnosis or a lab result to guide you. Remember that diet, lifestyle changes like adding exercise in and keeping up with your spiritual practice can all make wonderful improvements to your health. You may contact me at drlivingood@yahwehyoga.com or visit my website, drelizabethlivingood.com. I can see patients in person in Phoenix, Arizona, or via telemedicine anywhere in the world.